What if I told you the most powerful man in America once refused to be king? At a time when the world was ruled by monarchs, one man had the chance to take absolute power, but he walked away. This is not just the story of a president. This is the story of a man who created a nation and then chose to leave it. But to understand why he gave up power, we have to go back to where it all began. George Washington was born in 1732 in Virginia into a modest plantation family. No royal blood, no elite education, just discipline and ambition. At just 16, he started working as a surveyor, exploring rough, untamed lands. This wasn't just a job, it was training. It taught him how to think independently, how to stay calm under pressure, and how to survive in uncertainty. But the real test of his character came when he stepped into war. Before becoming a hero, Washington was a young officer in the French and Indian War. And here's something most people don't realize. He made mistakes, big ones. In fact, one of his early military actions helped ignite a much larger conflict, but instead of destroying his career, those failures became his greatest teachers. He learned how to lead men in chaos, how to recover after defeat, and most importantly, how to adapt. These lessons would soon be tested on a much bigger stage. By 1775, tensions had exploded. The American colonies were on the edge of rebellion, facing the most powerful empire in the world, Britain. Washington was chosen as commander-in-chief, not because he was perfect, but because people believed in him. But belief alone wasn't enough. His army was weak, undertrained, and often starving. Winters were brutal, supplies were scarce. At Valley Forge, many soldiers didn't even have shoes. Yet somehow, the army didn't collapse because Washington didn't just lead with orders, he led with presence. He stayed, he endured, he inspired, and slowly, that struggling army became a force. Until finally, in 1781 at Yorktown, everything changed. The British surrendered, and for the first time, America was truly independent. But winning a war was only the beginning. Now came a much harder question. How do you build a country from nothing? There were no rules, no system, no example to follow, and once again, people turned to Washington. In 1789, he became the first president of the United States. This wasn't just a title, it was a responsibility no one had ever carried before. So he created the foundation, a functioning government, a cabinet system, a sense of national unity. He made decisions that would define the future of an entire nation. Everything he did became a precedent. And then came the moment that defined him forever. After 2 terms, Washington stood at the peak of power. He was respected, trusted, almost untouchable. He could have stayed in control for life. Some even wanted him to become a king. But instead, he did something the world had never seen before. He stepped down, voluntarily. No war forced him, no crisis removed him. He simply chose to leave because he believed that no one man should hold power forever. And in doing so, he set the most powerful example of leadership in history. In 1799, George Washington passed away at Mount Vernon, but his impact still shapes the world today. He wasn't just a general, he wasn't just a president, he became something greater, the symbol of leadership without greed. Because he didn't just fight for freedom, he protected it, even from himself. And maybe that's why his story still matters, because in a world where people fight to gain power, he showed the strength to give it up. So think about this. If you had absolute power, would you walk away? If this story made you see history differently, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more powerful breakdowns. Because history isn't just about the past, it's about understanding the world you live in today.